guys, Rik Mayall and Adrian Edmondson, doing a bit of tea work. We say welcome to the
Bit of
Jays,
tea
guys.
work.
How are ya?
Hello and G-Day to all of you.
Welcome.
Hello, good day.
Now,
This is Adrian and I'm Rik. Hello.
hi, welcome back to Australia. You've been here a heap of times, haven't you guys?
Yeah, we're still a little bit jet lagged, but we'll do our best.
Okay, you just flew in yesterday, I believe.
A bit, yeah.
And Rik, you've got an Akubra-looking style Australian hat. Is it actually from this trip or from a previous trip? Or?
No, it's from this trip. I've got the crappiest hair. I thought it was kind of groovy and funky until Aid saw it because we were on separate planes and he disagreed with my taste and he said, get this hat, buy it.
Right.
And put it on your head and he wouldn't let me take it off because I've got it off now because I'm on the radio.
Yes.
So if you see a twat around town in Sydney, that's me.
There's a lot of him.
You guys have never been scared of making yourselves look unattractive for comedy? You know, is there a point where you just go, oh, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to wear something like that, or, you know, you just go, I just want to look nice once in a while?
Comedy's about a lack of vanity, isn't it?
Totally.
Generally. Well, it is in Britain and Australia, I think. Whereas America is a kind of wisecracking thing.
Right.
What it used to be. Jim Carrey's kind of been trying to steal our mantle.
No.
But, you know,
I was trying to steal our mantelpiece and it fell on his face.
Australians are, huge fans of your work, with the young ones right through to, Bottom. It's more recent for you guys, and you've just done a film, which we'll talk about soon as well. But how do you guys, I mean, in Australia, you guys are an absolute cult. It's phenomenal here,
Well, that's great.
We've bought so much of your
Did he just call
merchandise.
us
A complete cult. We're both cults.
cult? I thought he said something else.
You can say what you like on Australian radio. That's the great thing about Australian culture. And I'm not sucking your cock here, but you can say whatever you fucking like. I mean, you can. It's fantastic. And that affects the film as well. Because you have a different
This is
censorship thing
publicly
over
funded swearing.
Yeah.
Publicly funded swearing. So every time you say fuck, you get money.
Well, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, every time you say it, you do. Not when we say it. But you guys, when you translate, do you have troubles translating, that sort of humour? I mean, in Australia, everyone just goes, oh, that's tops, they're swearing. How intelligent is that? But in America, do you find, do you guys have barriers there?
We don't really do America.
Yeah.
No, it's not happening.
They don't really like us there. We're a very small cult in America.
I think we might be selling ourselves short there because a lot of the kids don't get the chance to see it because it's the grown-ups in the suits who make the decisions as to whether they're going to see us on the telly or not. So it's...
Yeah, but I think you measure kind of how well you go down by how many people have seen you.
Right.
And it's not many in America.
That doesn't mean they don't like us. It means they don't know who we are.
It just means they've never seen any of our stuff, so they haven't been able to form an opinion.
Well, Rik, how did you get on to Drop Dead Fred when you did the film Drop Dead Fred? How did that come about?
Two Americans. Two Americans had seen The Young Ones.
Yep.
And they came over with a script about me being a crap policeman in Yorkshire. It was not a very good script, so I said, no, I don't think it's very good. And they said, oh, go on, Rik, we want to write something for you. So they wrote that instead, which is a lot of people didn't like, but then a lot of the kids did. That's all such a complicated thing. That did all right, like it or not. I want to tell you what was a good one. I watched Barry Norman, who's an English film critic, was on a New Year's Eve, 1990, 91, something like that, when Fred had come out. He says, hey, here are the 10 worst films of the year. So I sat down with a bottle of scotch to have a good laugh at all the other actors who hadn't made it. And we got the worst, 10th worst, 9th worst, and 8th worst. And we got down to number 1. I said, here it comes. And he said, it's the worst. It's Drop Dead Fred, not Drop My Bottle. Yeah. So that's how it goes.
Your film that you got out now, Guest House Paradiso, that's been well received in the UK?
Yeah, it has. It was sort of running sort of number 3 in the charts, wasn't it, for a while?
Yeah.
Against the big American kind of blockbuster films.
It's over across Christmas, you see. So, everyone comes out at Christmas. But we did very well.
It's very funny.
It is.
Like, I don't think I've laughed at a movie that much since,
great.
Caddyshack.
Cool.
Drop Dead Fred was great too, so,
We're in a theatre and there's actually one point when I was actually like on the seat in front of me, actually touching inappropriately the seat in front of me, and I actually caught myself. Well, Rosso called me out, actually saying, "Look, just stop." And I started talking to the film. Just, stop. Let me breathe. Let me breathe. Rosso's going, it's just a film. You'll be okay, Merrick. But it is fantastically funny, and it's really, for us, it's very, very refreshing. And this is, now we're sucking up. But it is very refreshing, see these American comedies and they're big, big budget, big actors and all that sort of stuff. And then you see something that is just so, pure and real comedy, really raw stuff.
Nice to hear. You know, I mean, kind of a bit speechless, but you know,
they
he's the
talk-
man. That's the man sitting next to me. He's
So
the
they,
man.
you know, I mean, you directed it, and I mean, they talk about those American films, and they have those signature scenes, like the American Pie. There's the penis in the pie, and then say the other one with the semen in the hair, and something about Mary.
Yeah.
You probably got 250, 300 jokes to do it in your film. Yeah.
This is what I felt. Stop it! Slow it down.
Was it? How's
That's
it
very
worked?
kind.
Is-
I mean, we've always been fans of things like the
our work.
Roadrunner cartoons, and most of our kind of jokes are based on this kind of long distant memory of Laurel and Hardy and the Roadrunner cartoons. So we've I don't know why we haven't got to film sooner, but the sort of the space it gave us to actually make physical jokes work properly. I mean, you can make them work on telly, but you get a day and a half to make a TV program in front of a live audience, you know, and it's different. Whereas this is like being in a comedy laboratory, you know, and you work out the best angle for getting a pair of testicles in some nutcracker. You know,
I know it sounds funny and it's funny, but it's true.
it's actually grown-up thinking about puerile things that makes it work.
He's got the technicians talking about the vomit, who brought in videos of different colours of vomit. I'm telling you, with the poor little guy going, wow, and vomiting these different vomits onto a wall, all video, and people sitting around discussing it, what's going to work, not going to work, with age.
It's great. You get a lot of people who are responsible for a lot of multi-million-pound feature films, and they're sitting around talking about vomit. It's fantastic. They're saying, well, we're not sure about whether it should be the sticky stuff or the runny stuff or the bitty stuff or the
But the
bits with
bitty
blood
stuff
in.
is so good on the wall.
Gentlemen, can you hang around and we'll talk some more?
It's got
on
a very
Triple
good
J?
splat factor.
Excellent.
Give us some music.
Away from 5 here on Triple J, Killing Heidi from Reflector. Class celebrities, we're Merrick and Rosso, talking to Rik Mayall and Adrian Edmondson, who are in
Hello.
Guys, I love the
Adrian.
thing in your new film. In the first scene, Rick, you of course got your undies up, you know, pulling them up as high as you can.
Yep.
Always funny. Do you ever get... Is there any point where you just go...
Doesn't matter
make
how
a
many
joke?
times you do that gag, it's always funny.
Yeah.
Whenever you pull your undies up, it's funny. There are various undie moments in the film. There's the rubber undies, which are terrific. There's, I think, it's the moment where violence meets humour meets nasty, which means worrying, because there's the nipple sequence, which makes people go, ooh, ooh.
There is a moment where we actually take our undies off and we expose our naked arses.
Nudie scene.
And that, coincidentally, is why we had to shoot the whole thing in widescreen.
And do you know, Ellen Mayall, possibly one of the most beautiful women in cinema, was in that scene as well. And it may have been because of your decision to make us nude in that scene that I never scored. Because you should never take your kit off until the lights are off and you've got the door locked.
And you can bring in a stunt double.
And the promise has been made.
Yes, and you got it in writing and a lawyer in the cupboard.
Oh no, it's great. One of the things about with this new film, Guest House Paradiso, and also Bottom particularly as well, less so the young ones, is the violence scenes. And sometimes you just forget how funny violence is. It's a bad and broken thing, but when it's done well, it's very funny. Particularly if you use each other's genitals.
Genitalia.
Testicles are always very funny when they're
Are you
hurt.
nervous about that word?
Yeah.
He's just sitting too close to Adrian. They're about 3 feet apart and he's
Or
worried.
is it this hammer that's making you nervous?
Turn around and punch me in the dick.
His body language is strange. He's got both his hands on his penis and he's edging away with his feet. But how far can you go? Who did we chainsaw the legs off? Oh, it was you.
It was me once, yeah.
That was fantastic.
What were you going to ask about that?
I did actually ask it.
Did you? It was a fascinating question.
about the violence in some of your work? Is it like sometimes the lining up of getting a big kick in the nuts or something like that? Is sometimes you accidentally follow through, and I don't.
Yeah, that can happen.
Yeah,
but it depends how many arguments you've had during the day.
Have you had training or something like that? Do you have training to just narrowly miss or anything?
I don't know what it is, but we can do it with each other. It's a second sense, I think. Because I've tried doing it with other people in other shows and it doesn't work.
Because it's as good as Bruce Lee for my money, that sort of just missing it. I was going, geez, that actually looks quite convincing.
We're actually working on a kind of spoof karate section for the next film.
Oh, okay.
But, it could be very funny.
Well, the violence is funny.
Yeah.
I don't mean that I enjoy violence. I'm just saying that in context, very funny.
I know this falls into the classic cliche question to ask you about you guys, but because you're out here and we don't hear so much, I mean, you have been working together for a long time.
I think it's nearly 25 years, by my estimation. It's 25 years next September.
Since we met.
And you're obviously still getting on well, loving working together and still friends, yeah?
Allegedly.
You'll have to talk to my people about that.
You do these. We were looking at the video today of your live shows for Bottom. I mean, that must be a buzz. How long do you do, like, at big, massive theatres, obviously, and big seasons of them?
Yeah, we've done three tours, and we do about 4 months on the road, going around Britain with it. We kind of dug our own grave with them, really, because in the first one we started off this. Can you say words beginning with W on there? Wank.
Yes.
Sounds like you can.
Can you say wank?
Rick's already used a couple of other expletives. I think we'll be fine.
We had this bit where we got a roadie to shout out "have a wank" because it led to a kind of sequence that was quite funny. And ever since then, on subsequent tours, people come just to shout "have a wank." so by the end of the last tour, we were sort of going into theatres where 2,000 people were shouting "have a wank."
Yeah, but you know, can understand. Well, that's what happens when was it? We were trying to get people to go and see something, and I had to go on an evening show. Oh damn, we were being bad news, and they all through the sheep's eyes.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I completely ruined that point. But anyway, things happen. If people see things on videos, they do them, and so you have to write another show.
Have you ever taken Bottom? You know, the live shows. Have you ever taken those outside of the UK?
No,
not particularly big in Spain or.
No, you could only go to here on Ireland.
Really?
Yeah.
Is Canada a market for you guys?
Don't really know.
Don't really know.
Yeah. Have you thought about coming out to Australia for the comedy festival?
We have been asked that
We
before.
did in 1983.
Yes.
We've done the comedy festival.
We did the Adelaide Festival. We got
our laugh. We got our laugh, and we took it home again.
We got to Sydney, and the show was cancelled.
That's true.
No tickets have been sold. So you had your bloody chance, mate.
We had to go and lie on Bondi Beach for 2 weeks. Can you imagine the tears flowing down our small pants?
The tears that flowed into our whiskey bottles. It's kind of easy.
How do you direct yourself then in this sort of?
I do my bit, and I said, "That's fucking brilliant, mate." You're a star, mate.
If I ever do anything funny, he cuts it out. Him and the editor. So it's a hard life, you know.
It seems to work well for both of us.
But some of the actors who he's cut out. Oh, God, Mel Gibson.
We had him in the film.
Yeah, he was completely cut.
Was rubbish.
How do you
Couldn't vomit.
Adrian, how do you direct somebody like how do you direct Rik to give you a good kick right in the lolly bag?
A lolly bag, that's a new one.
You can take that one. You can use that in the UK and say it's yours.
Consider it stolen. Go on, look at me lolly bag.
Hey, Rik, I think your lollies have melted. Either that or you pissed yourself.
Come and have a closer look, baby. My lolly's melting.
Want to lick me lolly?
Look, I don't think we can go.
My lolly bag's been emptied. Sorry, this will go on.
Gentlemen,
Gentlemen, gentlemen, you want to say, gentlemen, get out.
Oh, you can stay around if you like to.
You can stay for as long as you like.
Here.
Yeah, hang around. Gentlemen, why not?
Is it time for another song?
Yes.
Well then, let's hear the theme tune from Guest House Paradiso.
In the desert, nature more.
Get your hands off my spoons.
Speedfield this season here on Triple J. Merrick and Rosso. It's 4:45, talking to Rik Mayall and Adrian Edmondson. They've agreed to hang around because they're wonderful
cool.
gentlemen, and they enjoy swearing on national radio.
Oh,
Yeah, well, where else in the world can you say buttock?
Now, there's been a lot of, obviously, you know, you've got a huge amount of fans in Australia who love your work. You know, of course, the young ones were talking about Bottom, Bad News. It was fantastic. I've bought, as I said before, I've bought half your merchandise. I actually have had to be a complete bastard.
Oh, yeah, very good. Well done.
I've got one of your books. What I love is that
It's in the toilet.
I owe you 10p.
it's the best Dunny book. You just pick it up and it's 10 years.
It makes you really shit. That's what you need from a Dunny book.
And there's plenty of paper.
I was looking for inspiration for crap and bang. But there's all these things, and people, I think
I
sometimes.
laughed so hard I emptied myself. I was bunged up until I read How to Be a Complete Bastard.
You should have put it on the back of the book. This will make you brap the entire bowl.
Break the bowl.
Go on, crack the bowl for only $9.99.
I can't ask any more questions.
Anyway, English culture.
And with a comedy.
With a smile.
Satire in the 21st century.
Listen, there's people driving their cars all over Australia. Let's try and do something to help them.
guys,
We're in the car behind you.
Are you students of
Look
comedy?
out, Sydney!
Are you students of comedy as far as, you know, things that you love, or traditionally you've always...
We're quite old-fashioned, I think,
Yeah.
aren't we? We haven't really caught up with anything new. But we're still caught in this kind of... Before young ones, we don't know anything after young ones.
So it was just like the two
Everyone
Ronnies, then
else.
you guys.
Yeah.
It's a question a lot of people would be wanting to know, I reckon. A lot of fans would want to know. Is actually, how did you guys meet? I know it's like, you know, pretty sort of standard, boring question, but I think a lot of people would be interested to know how you guys sort of met each other and how you came together and how you
Well, we
started
were both
to
at
practice
university,
comedy.
and there was a tough guy. That was Ed. He had long hair in those days when he had hair. It was long blonde hair, and he had ripped denims, and he didn't say much in lectures, and he sat with his feet up.
Because I was asleep.
Yeah.
What we
No,
guys...
but he was a really tough guy, and all the girls thought he was cool and
Had a
sexy.
hard night.
And I was the sort of arse, because I'd been to a sort of slightly posh school. So posh that when the lecturer walked into the room, I stood up. Like you were supposed to do. Yeah, look, he's still fucking laughing.
Good morning, Mr. Lecturer.
And all the other groovers with their feet up on the desk were laughing at me.
Smoking.
They were smoking fags in class. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. None of them got smacked. None of them. And everybody laughed at me, so I thought, I want him to be my mate, because he's the hardest guy. And then a nice guy called Lloyd Peters was doing something in a pub, and so we just sort of teamed up and started working together, you know. And then that was 1975.
And out of all the mediums, which one do you enjoy the most? Out of film, television, and live?
We like messing about between them, actually, because I think any one would get rather kind of oppressive.
They've all got different rewards.
It's quite... Because we actually really enjoy writing.
Yeah.
Of all the processes, writing is where we get to
More
laugh.
than the performance.
Yeah, we laugh a lot more writing.
Do you guys write
We
for other
used to
people?
we used to not like writing so much. We used to thought it was a sort of chore, and because we weren't as confident, but we're more confident now, and it's an active pleasure.
Yeah.
Do you write together, or do you...
Yeah.
You say sit down and...
Yeah,
who types?
I'm the pacer. He's the typer.
Right.
I walk up and down, and he just plays with his computer. I think he's pretending to.
I don't listen to anything he says, I just write the script while he's in the room.
I know. I never knew that.
He thinks he's involved.
And he doesn't let me smoke fags in his study, so I have to go out the back door, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know who he phones when I'm away and gets all the gags.
Rumpelstiltskin.
But can you sit down and just go, if we want to do an episode of Bottom or we do a film, can you sit down and write that in one sitting, or
Yeah.
is that-
Oh, what?
well, not a film, but you know what I
8
mean, like,
pages a day.
yeah.
roughly.
Yeah.
We set
Sometimes
this-
we just sit down and think of things to poke each other with in the eye. Let's spend the morning thinking of eye accidents.
Well, first of all, we get an
After lunch,
idea.
it's nut bags.
We get an idea, then we divide it into sort of scenes, and then we just write it all. But also on other days, like you mentioned, we just go into the larder, where from years ago we might have a joke. It's on his computer, the larder.
Oh, right.
Where we've got old jokes we haven't had space to use before, and we have a little look through, sift through, eye-poking out jokes and things like that.
Wow.
It's kind of great.
What's next for you guys?
Well, we're halfway through sort of writing another film, but we're halfway through thinking about another thing. And
Can you tell us about the film that you're writing? Is it...
It's like Paradiso, except it's set in space.
but don't give the idea away.
But I'm not supposed to tell you that.
But it's not. It's more or less a lot of sewage in it. There's no vomit.
It's actually called,
okay, so you
actually
can replace the
called
vomit
crap.
with poo.
I'm afraid so, yeah. It's way in the future when someone's got to take all the shit off the earth and dump it at the other side of the
No
universe.
room left.
Yeah, and that's our job. We get involved with a very evil man on the way and some beautiful birds.
Is
And a whole pile of shit. We might call it a huge pile of shit.
there any more TV?
It'll second guess the critics. Won't it?
Yes. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Rik and Adrian. Their new film is...
Their new film is a huge pile of shit. That's just factual. When we did Bottom, we were going to call it My Bottom, just so that continuity announcers would have to say, and now, My Bottom.
Is there going to be more?
Tomorrow night, Rik Mayall will be in My Bottom.
There's more series.
The things I've seen in my bottom. That's what we kick. We're that pathetic.
Next on TV, My Bottom.
Yes.
Oh, it never stops making
I
me
wonder
laugh.
what's going on in my bottom tonight. Those chaps will get up to anything.
Richie and Eddie tonight are bored in My Bottom.
well.
Don't, I'm panting. I'll go back to the pub.
Anymore.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys, thank you very much for having us.
And tiny children.
And tiny children.
Gentlemen,
Please take the fingers out of your ears now.
It has been an absolute pleasure having you on Triple J. And next time you're flogging a film, come and see us again.
Or flogging anything.
Rik Mayall, Adrian
We're
Edmondson,
flogging a
thank
dog,
you.
can we come?
Come around here and flog dogs. Good night, Australia.
See you guys.
Right, it's coming up to news time after 5. Miff joins us for a driving song and, of course, 204 Bell Street, and we'll recover from the magic that was Adrian Edmondson and Rik Mayall here on Triple J.
I've got asthma.